the one, the only, Benzion. Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. Today we're doing Maseches Eiruvin, Periches, Mishnayos Hey and Vav. Mishnah Hey states, Haminiach Beito, V'halach Beiso, V'halach Lishmos B'Yachar. Decide more of the people that watch my videos are modern Orthodox or pronounce it Beito, or they're more yeshivish or pronounce Beso. I don't have the statistics. They didn't give it to me, my YouTube statistics, to figure out, if the people watching my stuff are yeshivish or modern Orthodox or Datila me. All right, Aminiach Beito V'halach Lishmos B'Yachar. He leaves his house and he goes on Shabbos. He's going away. He's a guest at someone else's house on Shabbos. His house is empty. His whole household left. You have to be included in the Eruv. Whether it's a non-Jewish person who would also, we learned earlier, he could aser if you have more than one Nachri. Echad Yisrael, whether he's a Jewish person, even one Yisrael aser. There is a Oser. The Meir says, Dira below Bailam Shmei Dira. A house, even though you're not there, is called a Dira in regards to Erev Chatzeros. Obviously, it's called a house. If he goes away for Shabbos, it's still his house. He doesn't lose his house. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Ein Oser. He just says, no, if you're not there for Shabbos, it's not called a Dira vis-a-vis Erev Chatzeros. Rabbi Yossi Omer. Rabbi Yossi agrees with Rabbi Yehuda. Nachri Oser Yisrael Ein Oser. Shein Derech Yisrael Lavo B'Shabbos. He says, really, technically, if you're not going to be there the whole Shabbos, I agree with you, right? However, a Nachri, he travels in a car, so he can return easily on Shabbos. So therefore, we have to worry about it. So you need to worry about him for the Erev Chatzer. So Yisrael, if he goes out of town, he's not going to come back to a different town on Shabbos. Rabbi Shimon Omer, afilu hiniach bito, v'halach lishpos eitzel bito, v'osal ir. Even in that city, he goes as a guest. A couple blocks away, he goes to his daughter for Shabbos. Eino oser shkar esiyah milibo. If you go to your daughter, this is Rabbi Shimon says, this is a fact. If you go to your daughter, usually your daughter you get along with, and you get along with the son-in-law. The son-in-law is going to treat you, the father-in-law, well. However, if you go to your son for Shabbos, he lives a couple blocks away. So a lot of times the daughter-in-law does not feel comfortable with her in-laws, and they get into fights a lot. This is true. This is very true, right? There's a lot more problems with daughter-in-laws than son-in-laws. Because daughter-in-laws are more shy, they're uncomfortable. So therefore, Rav Shimon agrees, if you go to your son, you might come back on Shabbos, you're in the same city. However, your daughter, you're not going to come back. So therefore, because you're not there for Shabbos, you do not aser, you do not have to be part in the Erev Chatzeros. Vav. Bor shebein shtei chatzeros. That's how you have two different yards in front of houses, right? You have 5 houses in each chatzer, right? And the 2 chatzeros are adjacent to each other. But in the middle of the chatzer, dividing between the two, you have a well, or you have, some gathered water over there, a pond or something like that. You can't take water from that well on Shabbos, or the pit full of water. The reason is because it's all one body of water. So I might be when I'm taking water, I'm taking from someone else's chatzer, right? If the 2 chatzeros made an Eruv together, so I'm allowed to. But if they made Shtepet Eiruvin, right? So it's a problem. But you can fix that. How can you fix it? You can make a wall. 10 tefachim, which is a wall. 10 tefachim is a wall. Whether the wall is 9 tefachim above the water and 1 tefach submerged in the water. When is 9 tefachim submerged in the water and 1 tefach above the water? Even if the wall is not touching the water at all, as long as it's in already, the wall starts below where the bore starts, right? The water is not to the top of the pit, right? And the wall is 10 tefachim, then the water is on the bottom. That divides it. We said good achis mechitzta. The wall in all these cases, the wall 10 tefachim halachically goes down. Beis Shammai says no, the wall has to be milmata. It has to be 9 tefachim in the water. Beis Hillel is mekel, as long as it's 1 tefach in the water is good, but above the water is not good. Amar Rabbi Yehuda lote mechitza gdola min hakos al shveinei. Yehuda argues on Shem. He says, right? Even if you had a wall, right, a fully built wall on top of this bore, right, and underground you had a bore. So even though it's not even within, within the pit at all, right, on top of the pit, if it's a full wall, so that divides the chatzeros. So certainly, um, if the walls is in the pit, the airspace of the pit, even though it's not in the water at all, that should be good. We should say good achis mechista. And the halacha is, well, you say good achis mechista. The reason is because it's a rabbanon, and really we could assume breira. Breira means whatever water I took from my half and not from your half. But in order to make a simon, in order to that people shouldn't make a mistake, therefore they said make a mechitza sar tefachim. That's the conclusion of today's shir. So we can say good achis mechitza. Stay tuned for Ion Mitzion, right? Analyze Mishnah Hay about the machlokas or Meir or Yehuda, fundamental machlokas. If you're not going to be there, is that called a dira? Is that called a dira for Shabbos or not? Rabbi Yehuda Meir says it is. Yehuda says. Now I'm going to tie it into an earlier machlokas Rabbi Meir and Yehuda in the Masechta. Ion Mitzion coming up next.